Hi, I'm Alexis Bolin. I'm a broker associate with ERA Legacy Realty. I've been a realtor for over 33 years. I want to talk to you for a few minutes about the duties of a real estate agent and what it's like in my typical day, as if there were a typical day for real estate agents. Typically, I go over my calendar the night before to be sure what I have on schedule for the next day. My typical day is usually I have appointments throughout the day, but if I don't have an appointment scheduled first thing in the morning, then I'm in returning telephone calls, checking emails, checking on closings, checking on the status of showings on my listings, and working on my ads. But typically, I'm going to have an appointment to show property starting at about 9 o'clock in the morning. Show property maybe half a day if I have out-of-town people, maybe all day. If it's people from in town, typically I'm not showing them until after they get off work, which is about 5 o'clock. Typically, throughout the day, I'm going to closings, working with buyers, showing homes, working with the sellers on getting their homes sold, such as getting the feedback and doing the things that are necessary, going on listing appointments, negotiating contracts, and taking telephone calls from interested parties who want to talk about real estate and or answering emails. Some days I'm talking to agents who call me from out of town because they want to refer business, because they have buyers or sellers who are moving to town. And some days I'm talking to other agents throughout the area, answering real estate questions for them. And then occasionally I'm speaking. So that's a typical day, I think, for a real estate agent. I usually finish up somewhere around 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and that is not typical for a real estate agent, but I put in a lot of hours, and that's up to you as an agent as to how you want to schedule your day, because certainly when I was a mom with 3 kids at home, I wasn't working till 8 or 9 o'clock every night. I scheduled my things so that I could work around the kids' activities. For those of you who may be thinking about getting a real estate license, please keep in mind that there's certain educational requirements, and check with the state that you're in, because there's residency requirements and a certain number of hours of classroom requirements, which vary from state to state to get your actual real estate license. In addition to that, most of the states have some sort of continuing education every couple of years to renew your license. Once you get your actual real estate license, you go to work for a broker. And after you're working for a broker, that's the owner of the real estate company, for a certain period of time, depending again upon your state requirements, you can then go back to school and take the designated hours to get your real estate broker's license, which is what I have done. Now, after you do those things, don't stop your education, because education is paramount in real estate. We have to keep up on what's going on. So there's always national conventions to attend. If you're working for a franchise, they have national meetings. You need to work towards getting some of your real estate designations that are offered through the National Association of Realtors, such as your certified residential specialist, your accredited buyer representative. There is right now a distressed property designation and a seniors designation, so continue your education. The skills that you're going to need, first and foremost, my opinion is that when you go into real estate, you need to go in for the right reasons, and that is because you want to work with people and help them accomplish their goals. This is a great profession for anybody like that. In fact, waitresses and teachers and nurses and people who are in the service industry make excellent real estate agents. The skills you're going to need, of course, you're going to need to know how to read contracts and understand the legal language of those, which you can learn through classes. But the most important skill, I think, is to have good negotiation skills and to be able to listen. Because as a realtor, you are a counselor. You want to find out what their big why is. And if you can help them accomplish their goal, then that's great and that's a win-win. However, if in counseling with the buyer or the seller you realize you can't help them reach their goal, then the best thing to do is to tell them the truth and you can't help them. So keep in mind that this is a very service-oriented business. You don't always get to set your own hours and the days and time that you work. Your schedule revolves around your clients. And if you have the client's best interest at heart, then you're going to be successful in real estate. If that doesn't seem like it works for you, then this is probably not the type of employment that you want to look for. Now, I said employment. Let me back up. We're self-employed, so we get to set our own schedules, which we all think is pretty neat when we get started, and then we find out the buyers and sellers set our schedules. But you have to be a self-starter. You have to be able to work a schedule, and you have to have a little bit of business background. So one of the things I would suggest is that you take some business courses, and that will help you tremendously as an agent. Now I'd like to talk to you about what I want to call the positives and the negatives of the job as a real estate agent. One of the nicest things about being a realtor is the satisfaction you get in helping your buyers and sellers reach their goal. You make good friends along the way. Over the years, I'm still doing business with people I did business with 30 years ago, because you do form a bond, and that's one of the nicest things about being a real estate agent. You actually get to be the family real estate agent. So if you stay in long, or as long as I have at least, you may end up selling the grandkids. That's kind of scary. But that is one of the best things about being in real estate, is the relationships that you develop. And it is so rewarding to see people, particularly on the buyer side, to get into the home that they really want to buy. They're excited about it, and it makes their family happy. The other side of it is when you're working with a seller and they have a goal, they maybe need to move out of town, the job's transferred, it's a stressful time for them. It's very rewarding to help them through some of the most stressful time in their life, and to make it easy on them to make the transition to whatever it happens to be. I'd say on the downside for real estate, it is that you learn right off the bat that just people aren't really upfront with you all the time. And so for whatever reason, they don't always tell you the truth. So it gets disappointing to find out that that buyer who told you that they made a certain amount of money and their credit was good and so forth, and they could buy, you've shown them 10 houses and done an offer and gotten it accepted, and now you go to them to the lender only to find out their credit's bad, they have no down payment. And so those are some of the disappointing things. There's always problems with the closings, so you have to be a great problem solver. And those are some of the toughest parts. Sometimes you have to give bad news. You know, the buyer backed out 2 days before closing. But I would say that the downside of real estate, it just isn't enough to outweigh the plus side of real estate. There's just no better job you can have than one where you enjoy people and you enjoy helping people accomplish their goals. You know, there's an old saying that says if you help enough people get what they want, then they'll help you get what you want. And that's exactly how life should be, because I find that my clients, my buyers, my sellers are always there for me, and I'm always there for them. And that's the nicest part about being in real estate. Lastly, I want to share with you one of the other things that's great about real estate is the friendships you meet with other realtors throughout the nation. I would say that's one of the most rewarding things for me, is that I've met people all over the United States, all over Europe, and we all have a common bond. We sell real estate. We understand each other. We speak the language. And those are great people to know. They'll help you. All you have to do is pick up the phone. You're there for them. They're there for you. So I would say overall, if you're considering a career in real estate, ask yourself, am I a people person? Do I really sincerely want to help people? And am I going to commit to doing the things that are necessary to be successful at it? Because it is hard work, don't let anybody kid you, but it is extremely rewarding. I don't know anywhere in the world except the United States where somebody like me could go from being a waitress to being the #1 agent in the nation. And it's because of the people you meet along the way in real estate. Consider it, give it careful thought, and then make a decision. Are you right for real estate? If I could share one final piece of advice, I would say that if you're a young person watching this video and you've just graduated high school, you're trying to decide what to do with yourself, if college at all is an option for you, I would go to college. I would get my degree. If you're thinking about real estate, you can get a degree in real estate. You can get a degree in business. But go to college, get your degree, and if you still feel like you want to go into real estate, go ahead and go into real estate. But by all means, get that college degree, because there's so much you learn along the way in those classes in college that help you with everyday life, which is what it's like selling real estate. So stop, think about it, look into the college, see if it's at all possible for you to go, and again, if there's any way possible, by all means get your college degree.